Hello and welcome. In today's exciting episode, I will be making this lovely green and red dress with a patchwork bodice, 4 different panels on the skirt, well, 2 in 2, and some layer cake sleeves. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. Now, I started making this vintage dress, Bodice 6055, a million years ago, but then put it aside to start something else. This is my problem. I cut out everything. I started making it, and then I had to go do work. And when I came back to the sewing room, I just forgot that I was in the middle of something because I sort of had the habit of packing everything off my desk, clearing the desk, and then just wandering off and doing life stuff. And then when I come back, I just forget what I've done. So anyway, this has been in a storage box for months and months and months, half done. And now it is time to get it out. I also have this Scandinavian fabric one. It's also a Bodice 6055. And I thought instead of making two dresses that I don't really want, because it is a beautiful dress, but I just want something baggier. And I thought, well, maybe I'll mush them together. I love red and green together. I think they're adorable. So I thought instead of making a 2-panel skirt out of this and a 2-panel skirt out of the green, I'll rip the seams and make a 4-panel skirt, and then use all the bits from the bodice, which were too small, to cut out a full-size bodice, because I want a pullover dress, not a really fitted one that you have to zip yourself into. I want one that I can wear over other stuff. So yeah, I thought I'd mush them together into one fabulous dress rather than two, fitted dresses that I'm not really going to wear that often. I'll just make one pullover dress that I can wear all the time. So I have undone the seams, and I just need to iron them out, press them, and just get rid of all the excess little bits of thread from me ripping the seams. So they are ready to sew together. And now the bodice is the next problem. I can't just have half green and half red. I don't really like that look anyway, but these bodices are too small for that because they're designed to be bodices for a very fitted dress, and I want a baggy one. So I'm going to have to put in a 3rd panel in the middle. And I've decided to do 2 green for the front and then have an insert panel using the lapel, so the front facing from the red one. And both of them are slightly different. I think the one on the right has better moose antler horns. This one, she has got one coloured in antler horn and one blank. But it also has a fox. This one is a better moose, but I don't like any of the squirrel's okay. But yeah, I like the fox better. That's going on the front. Yeah, it's very cute. I like the fox. Okay, so I'll stop looking at the fabric. So that's the front sorted, and then the back, and so I just trimmed them down and I pinned them. So, and this is the back. It's basically the same situation. I'm using the 2 front panels from the red one and one lapel from the green one, and I just trim them down and pin them together, ready to machine sew. Then I'll press them, then I'll cut out the front, the back bodice. And all I have left is to do the sleeves, because I do want sleeves on this. I feel like I've got enough sleeveless dresses. So I've got the back of the original bodice and in the red and one in the green. So I cut them up into pieces, and I'm going to make 2 sleeves in the layer cake way. This is what I mean by layer cake. There's 3 distinct strips of fabric in both dresses, the sleeves. So yeah, I love this dress so much. Okay, let's not get distracted. I could manage to get 4 strips, well 8 because there's 2 sleeves. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to machine sew them together, then cut out a puffy sleeve, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. They're not very wide. Normally a puffy sleeve is wider. These are taller, so it'll be interesting, but we'll see how we go. So first up, we'll focus on the bodice. I sewed together the that middle panel. So here we go in the cute little fox. So this is the one that's going to be the front. And yeah, so I sewed them together and then I pressed the seams open so the bodice will sit flat once it's cut. And this is the back. Actually, this is really nice. This would make a good front too. But no, I like the green better. So that'll be the front and this will be the back. Very cute though. So this is the next day, which is the next time I had time to do some sewing. And I carefully folded this one in half. This is the mainly red one. So this is the back. And then I pinned it in place. And once that was done, so that the seams were even, I cut out the back because the back is the larger part. So it's the hardest one. So that one is done. So now it was time for the front. And I know what's happened, so it's hard for me to not scream at this footage. But yeah, I did the same. I made sure that the seams were lined up and I carefully cut it out. And yeah, it's upside down. I don't know how I managed it. I must have, when I took it off the workbench, I must have turned it upside down and not noticed. So now I'm going to cut at the underarm line. That bottom half of the top is kind of square, so I can just sort of flip that upside down, and that'll still work as the bottom half. But I need to construct the top half, so I did not have many scraps left. Honestly, this is pretty much all I did. There's these teensy tiny scraps left after this. I did get a fox peeking out at the top and one at the stomach area, so that's cute. But seriously, anyway, so after I did that, I pressed the seams on the back of the patchwork one. Oh, isn't she pretty? Honestly, this just took me so long. I cannot believe I made such a stupid mistake. Anyway, so then I sewed the front and the back together at the side seams and the shoulders. And yeah, and then I put the lining inside it, right sides together, and I pinned, then machine sewed around the neckline. Then I clipped the curves, and then I turned it out, and I've just put pins at the top so that the neckline seam sits straight. So now that this is finally done, oh my God, you would not believe how long that took. Okay, so the next thing is the sleeves. So as you know, I put these 4 stripes of fabric, patches of scraps of fabric together, and this is what I'm going to use for my sleeves. So I just folded it in half, and yeah, I sort of cut them into a more of a sleeve shape. So there's an underarm bit and just rounded the top, and this is what they're going to look like. This is my prototype sleeve. So now I've got the other sleeve to do, and I'll show you each step of how I got it into this cute little puffy thing. So first I sewed in pleats over the sew lines, just because to puff something you need to sort of scrunch it up or put in pleats or gathers. So I put in a pleat on each of those 3, on the left side and then the right side, or the front and the back. And then I also put 3 pleats in the top quarter. So in the red fabric that's the shoulder, I just put in 3 pleats there, 1 in the center, 1 on the left, 1 on the right. I will pin these pleats, but first of all, we're going to do the bottom, so like the hem of the sleeve. And so, as you can see, I did the seam for under the arm. Now, what I'm going to do next is 3 pleats along the bottom. So I'm going to do 1 in the center, then halfway between, that's the center one, then halfway between the center and the underarm seam, I'm going to do another pleat, 1 on the front side and 1 on the back side. So yeah, you just sort of find the spot, pinch it and do 1. And you just run your sewing machine, put the needle down, turn the fabric and then run it back. And that way you don't have to tie a knot, and so that the stitches don't come out. So once you've done those 3, you pin the center one into a box pleat, and you pin the other 2 forward towards the center of the sleeve, and that way the pleat just sits really prettily. And once that's done, you do a sew line, and then you double fold your seam allowance up in half and then fold it again, so it's a double fold, so you've got no raw seams, and you do that all the way around. And once that's done, you carefully turn the whole sleeve in the right way, and then you pin down all the other pleats. And again, you're pinning them up to the center, but the center one is going to be a box pleat. So on the right, you pin up, on the left, you pin up, and the center one's a box pleat. So now that the sleeves are done, it is time to attach them to this checkerboard of a bodice. So I've pinned in the first one. It's pretty simple to pin it in. You just sort of, just got to be careful to not undo any of your pleats along the way. And you can always sew your pleats in if you're not sure. You can do pleats and attaching the sleeve at the same time. And then I did the other one, and this bodice is just so darn cute. Oh my goodness. I even managed to line up the bottom red line of the sleeve with the front checker bit, and this is what the back looks like. I'm glad the back isn't quite so busy. It's just got one racing stripe. And so now it is time for the skirt. And as you may have guessed, I actually did this last night. So I'll show. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I just had all the pieces. I pulled the 2 different dresses apart. Then I pinned them together, red, green, and then I sewed them all together, and ta-da, now we have a skirt, and it's so pretty. I love it, and it's nice and full, and it's nice and summery and springy, and I just love it. It's so cute. I will enjoy wearing this so much more than I would have either the red one or the green one. Oh, maybe the green one I would have liked because I love that fabric. But anyway, so now it is time to attach these 2. Okay, so because it's a panel skirt, the bottom is really, really full, but the top, there's only literally 4 box pleats and that's it. So I sort of, it was relatively easy to pleat down. So then once it was pinned, then I sewed it, and then I sewed it again just to reinforce it, and then you hand stitch the lining over those raw seams, and here it is. Oh my goodness, from what a disaster it was. Oh, these are the scraps I have left. Not very many. I mean, I have a few more bits, but I originally did start with 3 yards of red and 3 yards of green. So, I mean, if you wanted to make something like this with the patchwork top and the sleeves, you probably only need maybe 2.5 yards of each. So 2.5 red, 2.5 green. And then something else for the sash if you wanted to make a sash. I'm so proud of this. It was such a train wreck making it. I can't believe I did the insert wrong. But I was kind of rushing about. But and it literally only occurred to me when I was filming this section that red and green are Christmas colours, and I'd used a Christmas fabric. Bless. I'm talented in other ways. But it's so cute. It just seems spring and summery to me. The green fabric is very spring in my opinion. But they just look delightful together. And so that's why I got out the red Scandinavian Christmas fabric sash. And of course there's a 1950s net petticoat underneath it here, and at the start I showed you what it looks like without the net petticoat or a sash. It does look much better with the sash and the petticoat, but I like it just with the sash and without the petticoat too. So those sleeves, I love them. I'm so proud of them. As well as that checkerboard front. In Norway, you get these cookies that are sort of checkerboardish. So I guess it's Nordic, just a mix of all different countries. I'll walk around eating a packet of Swedish fish too while I'm at it. Oh dear, bless. But yeah. So I really love the fullness of the skirt. These two that I did in that other video, the mustard one, this green and red one turned out so well. I'm almost tempted, or not the moth one, the other two. They are the same, they're sort of the same thing. They're two dresses that I kept in two dresses. Whereas if I mushed them together and just made one dress, they could look as fabulous as this, but I think I'll leave them. I like having a range of different types of dresses. And this one though, oh my goodness, it's so cute. I might go to the top of a mountain and twirl around and sing The Sound of Music. It's so cute. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you've been inspired to finish some of your unfinished projects. Until next time.